is Myron Hughes. I am the Tennessee All Hazards Incident Management Team, PIO, working with the local resources here in Unicoi County. Apologize for a little bit of a late start. As you obviously would know, this is a very dynamic event with everything that's been going on. Just this morning, we have over 25 agencies working and around 200 responders, and they're working tirelessly with our incident command to make sure that we are achieving all of the goals that we have for our incident. Before we get started, I'll introduce everyone else that joins me today. Starting from the left, we have Jimmy Irwin, who is the incident commander. We have Sergeant Matt Blankenship, the Tennessee Highway Patrol. We have Miss Renee Jones, who is our state representative for the 4th House District. Next, we have Mr. Glenn White, the Town of Irwin Mayor. Mr. John English, the Director of Unicoi County Schools. Mr. Tim Bailey, our Town Administrator. And Ms. Christy Tipton, who is here with the Tennessee Crisis Mental Health Strike Team. Unicoi County Mayor Bubba Everly is also going to be joining us. He's on his way now. Before we get into the rest of our agenda today and get to our questions, I know that some wanted to come speak. We'll start with Mr. White, the County Mayor.
Thank you. My name is Glenn White, Mayor of the City of Irwin. As our state and nation has witnessed, we are a resilient people, strong in our faith toward Almighty God and molded by our strong American culture. I will not begin to list the names of our heroes who have saved many lives, for there will be a time for such an occasion. However, I do want to reach out to our County Mayor, Garland Evely, who has provided many resources to our city, and we together, along with others, have joined to create a united rescue effort that is in effect. As our people are being rescued, we will rejoice with them for their safety. As we locate our dead, we will mourn with their loved ones and show true love and compassion. By the grace of God and the determination of our people, we shall overcome. Thank you.
Next up to speak on the condition of schools as well as speak on the shelter, we have Mr. John English, the Director of County Schools.
Good morning. First of all, on behalf of the Board of Education and our entire school community, we want to thank all the first responders and law enforcement and all the people who have shown up. We know that Unicoi Schools is not the only school system that's been impacted, and Unicoi is not the only community that's been impacted, so everybody's dealing with a lot. But we've been overwhelmed with the support from not only inside the community, but even outside. So, as Mayor White said, there's too many people to name and list, but the volunteers who have showed up, we're grateful. The businesses who have brought food. This is Unicoi County High School, obviously is a shelter, so we want to stress to anyone who needs clothing. Our commons area is full of clothing from infant all the way through adults. And again, it's beautiful how everyone has shown up. So anyone who needs a shower, who needs food, who needs clothing, and if we don't have it here, we'll get it. So we just encourage people to utilize our high school as a space for shelter or other needs that you may have. We have counseling services available for whoever may need it. We're beyond our students at this point, although our students are certainly always our priority. So we want to encourage our students, our families, and our community to use us in whatever way that we can be helpful. What I know is Unicoi County is strong, and we're committed, and step by step we will get through this, and of course the school system wants to be a huge part of that. In reference to our schools, this was fall break, so we weren't in school this coming week, but as been noted, many of our schools are being utilized right now as command centers and shelters. So, as far as the question of when we could get back to school, that's going to be a process, and there'll be a lot of factors that go into that in terms of accessibility and power. There's just a lot of things. So I would say it's unlikely we'll be ready a week from tomorrow to resume school, but we would want our students to know that they are our priority, and we want to get back in front of them just as soon as we possibly can. and we look forward to that. I want to share a verse. Isaiah 41:10 says, "Do not fear, I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you, and I will uphold you with my righteous hand." So I want everybody to lean into whatever they need to lean into, their faith. But again, Unicoi Schools certainly wants to be a big part of us moving forward, and we're committed to that. So if there's any needs that our community has, our students have, our families have, please do not hesitate to reach out. We have people here 24/7 around the clock, and we will throughout this. So thank you.
Thank you. Joining us again, we have Unicoi County Mayor Bubba Everly has joined us, as well as Mr. Lee Brown, who is the president of Irwin Utilities, joining us. As I stated before, this has been a very dynamic incident. That's why we got a little bit of a late start. Everything is still constantly changing, and we're trying to make sure that we are getting the most up-to-date and current information out as accurately, but as quickly as we can. And so with that said, we wanted to clarify some information that came out of our briefing yesterday. So while working through a debris field yesterday, one of our search and rescue teams found a casket. We are working with the William Jenkins Forensic Center on making identification as well as making family notification. That being said, there are no confirmed deaths related to the floods at this time. When that changes, depending on the timing, there will either be a press release with that information or, depending on the timing, to our press briefing this evening at 5, we will handle it then. News outlets, I have not the greatest cell phone coverage where we're at, so please make sure, even if you have reached out to me, please make sure that I have your email. Reach out to uctnema@gmail.com. That's uctnema@gmail.com, and I will make sure you get on our distribution list for that. We were having issues with the original phone line that we were using yesterday for folks calling in for missing persons or welfare checks. And again, we're very grateful to Tennessee Highway Patrol in working with us on getting the line established at 1-800-TBI-FIND. Again, that's 1-800-824-3463. So if you are having issues getting a hold of the original number that we put out in the press release, please use that number. THP is also handling missing persons for Carter and Washington counties as well. So with them being that central location handling all that, we're wanting all calls to be routed there. As of this morning, the final count is that there are 73 that are unaccounted for. That includes missing persons as well as welfare checks. We are still continuing welfare checks in the areas that have been cleared, and we have support teams that are also moving through those areas. They're currently working in Spivey Mountain, Coffee Ridge, and Tilson Mountain. They are going out checking on folks and also providing food for them as well. For anyone that is in the affected areas, if you are able to get to, we have 2 locations that are going to be food distribution points for folks that live out in the county that are able to get to. The first is going to be Temple Hill School, which is located at 797 Old Highway Road in Irwin, and also Flag Pond School, which is located at 917 Old Asheville Highway in Flag Pond. We have currently a debris management expert on scene that has been sent from TEMA. He is working with the debris search teams that are working on Interstate 26 and the industrial park to make sure that we are being as thorough and careful as possible as we are working through the debris. We're also grateful for the Tennessee Crisis Mental Health Strike team that is on site with us, not just for the responders, but it's also for anyone affected. So there will be resources available here at the shelter, but there are also our phone numbers. So if you or someone you know needs some mental health assistance or just wants to talk, you can reach out to 855-274-7171. That's 855-274-7171. they can text TN to 741-741, or they can call the National Suicide Hotline at 988. Again, just to wrap up, the shelter is located here at the Unicoi County High School. That's 700 South Mohawk Drive. Anyone that wants to volunteer or wants to know what items they could donate if they wanted to, what needs are being unmet, you can call the volunteer line at 423-560-0269. I know one of the things that was mentioned is that flashlights, toiletries, and body wipes were some things that might be needed. So please call that volunteer line and coordinate with them to make sure that we get those things delivered to the right place and out to the right people. There will be a follow-up press briefing this evening, here again at 5 o'clock. And again, media outlets, please make sure that I have your contact information at uctnema@gmail.com. That's all the information that we were going to present. We've got about 10 minutes for questions.
The two distribution areas you mentioned, are they different from the distribution areas here at the school and
Yes.
at the south side?
Yes, so those distribution areas are going to be for residents that are still out in their homes, either if they haven't been able to get out or if they are still able to manage being there. There's going to be food, there's going to be water there as well, and we're going to be getting with the support teams that are out to make sure whatever resources are needed out there, we get those things sent there. The original donation center at Southside Free Will Baptist is still going to be our main collection point, and we will handle it from there. But again, if folks will call that volunteer line, we'll get all that squared away through that.
Are there areas of the county that you've not been able to make it into this point?
There are, and I think, I see Irwin.
This morning, we sent crews into the Spivey area.
Jimmy Irwin, EMA Director for Unicoi County. This morning, we've had search crews going into Spivey, Ball Creek, Tumlin Creek, that area. We've had some people that have come out on side-by-sides four-wheelers, but we do have search crews going in this morning. They're also taking supplies with them as they go in. So we're reaching those areas. Coffee Ridge this morning, and we're also working on Upper Higgins Creek, right and left-hand fork as we speak.
What about the Flag Pond area? We have people asking about that.
Flag Pond, which is Upper Higgins Creek, that area. The Rice Creek area has been accessible by vehicle, so the two-lane going into North Carolina. It didn't affect that area as bad, but we do have crews that once they clear up on the left-hand side of Upper Higgins Creek, they're going to be going toward Rice Creek.
We've heard of some.
Sam's Gap is right there included, yes.
We've heard of some like viewers and people were coming together to do their own searches. I mean, are those running coherent with you?
We are currently this morning, all the agencies that we have working with us are organizations that are government or search and rescue, highly trained. We have had a lot of people show up that has wanted to help. They have got with the Irwin Police Department and the Sheriff's Department, and the police chief and the sheriff are working with them, and they've kind of been helping them in their area.
Are most of the people not accounted for, the ones that work with the impact plastic?
We still have several that are unaccounted for. We have search crews currently. We've probably caught over 100 people at this time in the I-26 Industrial Park area doing searches. There is such large debris piles that it's going to be very tedious. We have to be very careful during our procedure, but we're currently working on that. Yes.
Could you discuss Bumpus Cove Road?
Bumpus Cove Road is in Washington County. From the pictures that have been provided, we can't get to there. Highway 81 is washed totally out. We have been in contact with Dan Wheeler, Search and Rescue for Washington County and the Highway Department. We actually had two of our crews from Urban Utilities that got stuck up there overnight, and they were rescued yesterday, but we do not know what the road condition is up through there.
So 73 is the current unaccounted number that we're going with.
Yes.
Question maybe for THP, I don't know if you can or not. Do you have any numbers for the other two counties that you guys are working with?
Let me clarify because I misspoke. It's actually TBI that's handling that list, so I apologize for that confusion.
I have a question. A lot of the families that are currently missing, unaccounted for, are Spanish-speaking families. So the family want to know if there's resources for them that are Spanish-only speaking and they are, being taken care of, being informed, and that they have the resources that they need right now?
There is a Spanish-speaking interpreter here on site at the shelter that's at least here through the day. We are working on making sure we continue that coverage throughout the rest of the incident.
So touch on the deaths again. So when you said unconfirmed deaths yesterday, that was just the casket. We have nothing on the record in terms of related to the storm.
Correct.
Do you feel there could be?
With the devastation that's out there, there's always a likelihood. But until we have confirmation, that's all we know.
And for people wanting to help, I know there are people who probably want to go into these areas that are dangerous for them to be there as well. What is your message to the people watching this who really want to be active?
We are grateful. Obviously, living in the volunteer state, we know that's volunteering is what we do. We love our community, we love each other, and we are so grateful for the amazing outpouring that there has been with all the donations that have been coming in, literally by the tractor trailer load. We are sometimes having trouble finding out where even to put things until we can get them processed, just because of the amazing outpouring of love and support that there is. So if anyone isn't sure how they can help or what they can do, again, just reach out to the volunteer line at 423-560-0269. And when we have other opportunities that become available, again, we'll make that in a press release as well.
Do we have any idea how long it'll take for like electricity to get on back into some of the areas that weren't hit as hard? Or anywhere that you guys, what your utility situation is looking like?
Currently, we have all of our crews deployed working, and we have an additional 29 linemen that have come to help aid our restoration efforts. And we are anticipating that all of the areas outside of the flood areas, power will be restored by Wednesday to those locations. And we're making progress every day and getting people back on. We estimate we have somewhere around 1,500 customers without power. Our power grid's stable and secure. All of our water plants are back up in operation, and we still have a boil water notice for Irwin Utilities customers. It does not affect Unicoi Water Utility District customers. Our wastewater plant was underwater and under silt. We are beginning to assess the damage and dig out the silt to get back into there, but currently we have no wastewater treatment in operation for our community. The wastewater treatment plant is not blocked. Wastewater is flowing to the plant and through the plant and on out to the creek and the river, which creates unsafe conditions for people downstream. We're working with TDEC, FEMA, trying to get a solution, to get a temporary wastewater solution back in place for Irwin as soon as possible, but we don't have any estimates on time frame for that. We have about 533 water customers and a few less than that wastewater customers that don't have service, and they're really all in the flood affected areas from Jackson Love Bridge out through Temple Hill, Sandy Bottom, on up to Clear Branch and Rocky Fork. We're making progress with our fiber restorations to get people that have broadband service with us reconnected. That kind of follows our electric restoration, and so we'll be continuing to work on that. Restoration to get the power line rebuilt along the hospital route is going to take 2 or 3 weeks. We have another big hurdle. To get power back into our industrial park. And I'm too grateful for all the support that we've had, and we will continue to
press forward.
Got time for one more question? Okay.
Have y'all received any updates on French Broad Power?
I have not.
Thank you all again for coming out. Again, we'll be back here this evening at 5 o'clock for a briefing. If there are any other major developments, again, media, make sure I've got your contact information, and we'll be reaching out that way. Thank you.